Okay, let's start the session now. Good morning, everyone. This is Manimegalai from Team Makal. Thank you all for joining this webinar on a relaxing Sunday morning. So, to begin with, let us initiate this webinar with the prayer song.
நீராறும் கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்தை கெழிலொழுகும் சீராறும் மதனமென நிகழ்வரத கண்டனிதில் எக்கணமும் அதில் சிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு திரை முதலும் தரித்தனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திறம்பியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே.
Yes, thank you, sir. On behalf of Team Makal, we proudly welcome you all for Makal's Women Talk webinar on the topic Master Your Mind, Break Free from Anxiety and Overthinking. Before we begin, we take a moment to welcome our esteemed chief guests, Dr. Pritisha Saxena and Miss Sanjana Thakur. We also welcome Makal's CEO and founder, Mr. Sendil Kumar, and our other organizing committee members. So, the purpose of today's webinar is to understand the strategies to manage anxiety and break the cycle of overthinking. Usually, in Makal's webinar, we used to conduct topics related to technical skills and career development. And this is the first time we are focusing on the mental health of the people and the participants who are joined today. Along with this webinar, Team Makal work towards youth skill development, and we are into multiple such activities. So, I would like to present our initiatives which empower individuals and create young, responsible leaders for our nation. So, I invite our organizing committee member, Mr. Vairamuthu, to give a brief introduction about Makal's initiatives and achievements for the past 5 years.
Good morning to all. This is Vairamuthu from Makal'S Steering Committee. Happy to be a part of this incredible team. I feel privileged to take this opportunity to brief about Makal and its valuable initiatives. First, what is Makal? Makal stands for Maverick Abdul Kalam Association for Leaders. Tamil Maverick Abdul Kalam Ilandalavarkal Sangam, registered under Tamil Nadu Societies Act 1975. Team Makal has a special connect with MIT because it was formed by the alumni students of MIT in the year 2020. Makal's founder got inspired by the legacy of our honorable leader, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam sir, who also studied and worked in MIT. No wonder that the followers of Abdul Kalam sir are leading the change through their focused efforts. So, this webinar is one among the 18 plus activities we are doing currently. Through the initiatives like Word of the Day, Makal Commands, Master of Communicative English course. We are creating confident English speaking candidates and professionals. Makal Tidbits, History the Mystery, News of the Day, Brainstorming India, Quiz of the Week, Goosebumps. Helps in knowledge sharing and current affairs. Read and Lead. An audio podcast has been telecasted to inculcate the reading habit among young minds. Makal Mahima to learn Hindi. Makal Fit to stay healthy and track fitness. Makal Jobs to stay healthy and Makal Jobs to create and share job opportunities. Makal Talents to unleash the artistic talents of the members and to lift potentially capable talents to the global arena. Makal's Walk the Dog and Know How are the online webinars where we bring field experts to share their knowledge on general and core technical topics. Makal's Women Talk. We invite women speakers to empower the women. Makal Fest is being conducted every year on Abdul Kalam's birthday. This is to bring out the talents and creativity of various age groups. On the same day, sapling plantations have done and those has received great response from the public. I would also like to highlight the achievements of the team. A pocket statute has created and published on August 15, 2021. This packet statute consists of basic important laws. The same has been approved by government officials and circulated it among public. 100 sapling plantations were done in Malumichampatti village, Coimbatore, in the presence of Panchayat President, ward councillors, and the public. Sapling plantations done in Kalapatti Government School was presided by the Inspector of Cybercrime Branch, Coimbatore. She educated the crowd on drug addiction awareness. Last year's Makal Fest was a remarkable milestone in our journey. We had around 200 plus participants from 20 different cities of India. We received Best Social Service Award from actor Santanu Bhagiraj, organized by Sigaram Awards, Chennai. Last year, we have also recognized and rewarded active volunteers of Team Makal. Not only that, Makal has visiting multiple colleges and conducted seminars to enhance the skills of students and to motivate them. Thanks for the opportunity to explain about the incredible initiatives of Makal. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vairamuthu. That was really an insightful introduction about our team. It is not too late to know about the inspiring profile of our keynote speaker, Dr. Pritisha. Now I invite Ms. Sammyuktha to deliver and to introduce our chief guest.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for this enlightening webinar. We are honored to have with us an esteemed expert in the field of mental health whose knowledge and experience will enrich our understanding of anxiety and overthinking. It is with great pleasure that I introduce Dr. Pritisha Saxena, the founder and director of Vijaya Clinics, Center for Skincare and Mental Health. Dr. Pritisha is a highly accomplished psychiatrist with a distinguished academic background that includes a Bachelor of Medicine MBBS degree as well as a diploma in psychological medicine. Her professional journey has been marked by a commitment to excellence in patient care and mental health services. She began her career with an internship at Government Medical College Nagpur from 2017 to 2018, where she gained invaluable clinical experience. Following this, she worked as a physician at the National Cancer Institute in 2019, offering critical patient counseling and assessments. From 2019 to 2022, she served as a psychiatrist at Lata Mangeshkar Hospital, providing essential mental health support to individuals in need. In addition, she has been associated with the Synapse Child Development and Activity Center from 2023 to 24, where she has focused on child psychiatry and development. She has been the director of Vijaya Skincare Center since 2020, and for the past 3 years, she has also held the role of chief consultant and psychiatrist at Vijaya Clinics. Dr. Pritisha is an expert in a variety of mental health disciplines, including neuropsychiatry, patient counseling, child psychiatry, psychotherapy, mindfulness, and mental health education. Her work in patient education and online teaching has further demonstrated her dedication to spreading awareness and improving mental health care. We are privileged to have Dr. Pritisha Saxena with us today, and we look forward to hear her invaluable insights on how to master our minds and break free from anxiety and overthinking.
Yes, thank you, Samyukta. That was really inspiring to know about our speaker. We also have Ms. Sanjana Thakur, who is a counseling psychologist and a mental health expert. She holds a master's in counseling psychology. She also has experience in educational counseling for students. She is a counselor in NGN Learning, which is a preventive mental health care platform for children and teens. Overall, she has over 3 years of experience specializing in individual and group counseling, behavioral interventions, and mental health education. She is very much passionate about creating safe, supportive spaces and empowering individuals to lead healthier and fulfilling lives. So, without any further delay, I hand over the session to the keynote speakers. Pritisha and Sanjana, the stage is all yours now.
Thank you so much, Mani. Thank you so much for the beautiful introduction for Pratisha ma'am and me. Hello, everyone. I'm Sanjana, and I would really request everyone to just turn on their camera so we can see all the beautiful faces that are participating and who are attending the webinar. And let's make this webinar a little interactive. We just don't have to keep on talking. Yes, we will talk, but let's keep it more interactive. Do you agree, Pratisha ma'am?
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you, Mani.
absolutely. I do agree. Thank you so much for organizing today's webinar and for such a beautiful introduction. And I hope that today's webinar helps all of us to better understand about overthinking and anxiety. And yes, it would be really lovely to see all of your faces as well. And this, I mean, we will keep this an interactive session. So if you have any questions, please share it on the chat box. And let's just get into it.
Okay, so I'll move on. Um, let's speak about. So, I'm a psychologist, and the favorite question to ask for me is, how are you feeling? It's not only in the sessions, but whenever I start my classes or any workshop, I ask everyone, how are you feeling? Right? So, this question in this webinar is a little twisted. Here, I'm going to ask you, name your feeling or maybe describe how you're feeling with a song. Okay. So, let me give you an example about by what I'm saying is. So currently, since past 2 days, I'm feeling very happy and I'm going with the flow. I'm just loving the life I'm living. So there's this movie you might have heard or might not have. So it's Dear Zindagi, and there's this song Love You Zindagi. Okay, so current feeling that Love You Zindagi. I'm just accepting and going with the flaws and flow. Okay, so this is how I'm feeling. Can I know how everyone else is feeling? If you want to unmute, you can simply unmute by raising your hand, or maybe you can type your feelings in the chat box and describe in song. And if you are not able to recall any song, or you're feeling difficult, so you can just type in chat box or simply tell how are you feeling right now. And I don't want to hear very common answers like, I'm feeling fine. Yes, Surya, I can see one hands up. Yes, you can unmute yourself and tell. Haripriya, Surya.
Yeah, am I audible to
Yeah,
everyone?
you are. Yeah.
Oh, okay. First of all, very good morning to everyone. And I just want to start with the introduction by thanking Mr. Sandal sir for organizing the event for every people, like for every Makal initiative members. And also, I want to congrats Ms. Manimegalai also for organizing and taking to the session apart, and all the wonderful Makal initiative members. And I would just want to say that I would love to on the camera, but I recently met with a quite accident and I was in the bed rest right now, so I'm not in the position to. I'm just attending section, taking bed rest right now, so I'm so sorry for that. And I just want to invite both you also, like you. Thank you for taking your time in your wonderful weekend for us to deliver your knowledge, and so that it can be useful for us in our future, and also whatever we're working for right now. And yeah, I'm just okay right now. I'm taking bed rest, so I'm just recovering right now. And thank you so much for asking. I hope you both are fine, and I hope all are fine over here right now. And yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much, Surya. And please, you take care. And that was very beautiful for whatever you shared with us. And yes, I'm really looking forward for this webinar. And please take care and get well soon. Yes, Haripriya, can you tell me how are you feeling? I know it's very difficult to recall of a song. You can just easily answer by what you are feeling. Simple one.
Hi, good morning. Sorry to interrupt in between. I'm feeling good actually. But the thing is, I have two kids, so they keep on shouting. That's why I didn't unmute the call. I'm just a new mom and I've delivered my baby 6 months before, and I have a 2 years toddler. And I'm just bit hectic. I'm hectic with the work and I'm stuck up, okay, with these two kids. That's why I just wanted to attend this session and take me somewhere where I can be happy with my mind. So I think you can help me out with that.
Surely we even look forward for this, and congratulations and all the very best for your new life again. I'm sure and I'm really hoping that we help you out with all the situation about overthinking anxiety. But even if we don't personally accomplish or target your stuff, you can always and reach out to a professional and coordinate with us. Okay. So can I move forward? Can I hear more answers? Okay, so I'll just move forward then. Now, let's see ki, how anxious have you felt this week? Okay, just try to reflect on the past week that has been done from Monday to Saturday, let's imagine. And have you felt anxious? Can you just rate? You can simply type the number of anxiety you have felt in the chat box, maybe. So, for example, for me, this week was pretty good and I did not feel that anxious. So, I can rate my anxiety by near to 2 and 3. So, it was okay. It was pretty well for me. Yes, Mani said that her anxiety was 10. Oh my God. Pratisha ma'am is saying on the scale, I have been at level 6 as we are planning a vacation. Wow. Yes. There are different things that makes you anxious and preparing for something, thinking of future, it makes you feel more nervous. It makes you feel anxious. Am I packing everything? Right? Can I hear more answers and replies? Okay, maybe you can just try to also, if you don't want to answer, I know it's completely fine. Maybe you can just try and think it in your mind and not answer you. Surya, I don't have a scale count for my anxious level as it bumps up high. Oh, so it's crossing 10. I hope Surya, this anxiety webinar will help you. Let's move forward then. When we say anxiety and overthinking, a lot of people do try to overlap these two terminologies, that anxiety is similar to overthinking. But no, anxiety and overthinking are two very different things. So overthinking is just, I would not say just, but it is your anxious thoughts or maybe the continuous thoughts that happens in your mind. That is overthinking, and it becomes your habit. For example, you are continuously thinking about the future, how it is going to happen, and sometimes you also ruminate. You are in the loop of what has happened. You think of the past, even let's say 1 week or maybe 6 years back. You do overthink a lot, right? So overthinking, when it is called overthinking, when you are just stuck in your thoughts, it is that cycle. And anxiety reflects physically. So yes, when you are feeling anxiety, there will be physical symptoms when anxiety is reflecting outside, right? So as I said, overthinking, thinking without action. You are just thinking, you are planning stuff, and you are just thinking about the future or the past, what will happen. You are not acting, you are just stuck with your thoughts. And anxiety, it's your fear response, as I said, right? So anxiety symptoms, which you can spot is, you are palpitating, your heartbeat is increased, okay? You feel breathlessness. Then sometimes there is irritability that happens because you are continuously thinking, and that thinking reflects to your physical. So when we talk about mental health, we say, it's all in your mind, it's all in your brain, but it also reflects physically. So yes, it's in your mind, it's in your brains, it's in your nervous system, but it's not just in your mind. Okay, the all the signs, all the symptoms reflects your body. Your body tells how it is feeling. So when you're feeling very anxious and very nervous, for example, like you have a job interview, you're feeling very anxious, you're just thinking, I really want this job, and what if I mess with my job interviews, will I answer it? So that overthinking leads to anxiety, and it can also reflect on your gut health issues. So for example, sometimes due to anxiety you vomit, you feel stressed, and there's headaches, you feel nauseous and whatnot. So there are multiple things when we talk about anxiety. uh, yes, now I'll start with overthinking. The anxiety part will be covered by Pritisha ma'am. So when I say overthinking, overthinking happens in two parts. Basically, it's divided in two. When I say overthinking about my future, it's ruminating. Like, what if this happens? I don't want something bad to happen. So, I'll keep everything planned. For example, Pratisha ma'am is going for a vacation. She's planning a vacation. So she is thinking a lot, that I should pack my stuff, whatever I'll need. I hope there is no patient that gets unwell, or it needs me in emergency. I really feel everything should go quite well. So that is ruminating in future, overthinking about the future. And what is worry then? Worry is when you are thinking about the past, what already has happened. So when you are dealing with overthinking, we are not present with ourselves in the present. That's why overthinking is happening. You are basically revolving in your future or in the past. You are not present in the moment. Okay, then we will be discussing how to manage overthinking. But just let's first understand what is overthinking. Because when we understand overthinking, we identify what is overthinking and how we can just spot that we are overthinking and how we can stop our overthinking, right? So, overthinking also feeds anxiety. Overthinking feeds anxiety because when you are thinking, when you are stuck in your thoughts, it is reflecting uh, physically, right? So that's when anxiety comes over. Pratisha ma'am, can you continue from here? I hope everything is clear. And do I have any questions still here? Okay, so I'll hand it over to Pratisha ma'am for explaining us anxiety.
Okay, that was really great, Sanjana, about overthinking. And to understand it more briefly again, that overthinking is something we all do, and it is not a problem until it becomes a habit. And when it becomes a habit, it can lead to anxiety. So we often get confused between what is anxiety and what is overthinking. So overthinking or thinking, it starts with just basic thinking where you are maybe um, thinking about, like I'm thinking about going on a vacation, and uh, from my past experiences what all things have gone wrong, so I am thinking about it, and I'll be thinking about what might go wrong. So what if situations come in, it would turn into anxiety if even when I'm working, when I am talking to you guys, when I'm seeing patients, when I'm driving, even then I'm feeling or thinking about the same thing. I'm feeling anxious. I can feel all the palpitations, and I'm not able to switch from the thoughts to my life back. That is when it gets, or we call it anxiety. So, anxiety is an emotional and a physiological response to a perceived threat or danger. So, it might not be there, the danger might not be, and we feel that what if the danger comes in? What if, like just yesterday, I had a patient, and she told me that she is going back to her hometown, and the thought of going back to the place which has given her a lot of bad experiences, now she's feeling very anxious, and she hasn't even reached there, but the idea of being there is making her anxious. So it can be a real thing or an imagined thing as well. where our body and brain is trying to just stay alert and prepared. So that is what anxiety is basically, that it makes you be alert and prepared. So anxiety is very helpful thing. It's not all bad. So anxiety is nothing but our flight and fight response. The reason that we have survived COVID, we survived so many years of human race and we are here today is because of anxiety. If there was no anxiety, we wouldn't have taken any steps to protect ourselves, to safeguard ourselves, to safeguard our future, maybe financially, personally, in every aspect of our life. So that's where anxiety helps us. But when this anxiety is just like, getting in everyday situation, the core features of anxiety is basically emotional. That is, we feel very nervous, we feel tensed up and fearful. There can be racing thoughts, that my thoughts are not stopping. There's a lot of negative thoughts, or I just get random thoughts. Even while sleeping, I feel very that my brain is not, shutting down, and I'm just thinking, even in my sleep. That's what people describe their anxiety to be like. It could be physical, where you're having palpitations, or you can feel your heartbeat. You have upset stomach, or you feel like nausea, or like vomiting. You might have a headache, you might have stressed muscles, especially around your neck, your arms. Your jaw might get tight. Few people also have bruxism, that is like when they have a very tight jaw. So these things can happen, and behaviorally we might feel it very difficult to speak in public. We might avoid situations, we might not socialize, we might fear of maybe presenting something, going to your office, going to your workplace, talking to your friend, your partner, or anybody in that matter. You might get withdrawn, that you're not doing anything, or you feel irritable because it's difficult to explain that you're feeling anxious all the time, and you might feel burdened that again and again I'm telling somebody that I'm feeling anxious. So the overthinking just can get you in really bad spaces all the time. So this anxiety can be mild, moderate, or severe, wherein if it's mild, it's usually manageable, nothing is needed, you can switch back which easily from those thoughts to your back to whatever you were doing. It could be moderate, where certain things can really help you, like breathing exercises, grounding, and maybe doing some things which makes you feel more hopeful. And severe, when it basically means that it is going on for a long period of time, say more than 2 months, and it could be a disorder, an anxiety disorder, which the common ones are generalized anxiety disorder, panic disorder, OCD, and such more. So this is what would happen in, or how anxiety usually looks like and differs from overthinking. Now, why this happens? This is basically our brain's survival response, which is the fight, flight, and freeze response. That is, your brain is deciding whether to, should I fight it? Should I prepare for it and be ready with all my things? So that is the flight response. Fight response. The flight response is to just run away from the situation. Do I need to avoid it completely? Like my patient is like, should I just not go to my home? Should I just stay back here? Should I not go for my interview? Should I not go for my exam? Should I not text my partner that this is hurting me? Or should I not tell my parents that I'm actually interested in a person and I want to get married to them? So this could be it. And freeze. A lot of people who have been going through a lot of such negative experiences freeze in situations. And they might say, I was having an argument with my partner and I just froze. I couldn't say what I wanted to say. And later on, I realized that, okay, I just maybe didn't take a stand for myself and I was just frozen. My mind went all blank. Mostly this happens because of our past experiences. If they have been negative experiences, it might become anxiety. And the social pressure and perfectionism, like most of you are in your mid 20s, at this point, and the social pressure of being one, career oriented and financially independent, second, get married, then if you're married, have a kid, and then if you have a kid, another stream of such responsibilities and social pressure would just keep coming to you. So every phase of our life, be it a student life, be it when you're developing your career or your personal life, we have that social pressure, that social burdens, that what would people say, and that can also lead to anxiety and perfectionism, which can again stem from the way we have been brought up in our families. If our parents, caregivers expected us to, be a top performer, be amazing academically, have a lot of extracurricular experience, then really be at a very high paying good job, getting married to an amazing godlike person. So this perfectionism could come in, that I cannot let anything wrong in my life happen. And if something wrong happens, say a top performer, a person who has been really good academically all throughout school, they enter college and then they are not performing well, they might start feeling very anxious, they might have self-doubt, their entire identity would be affected because their identity was based on their performance. So a lot of such things um, cause anxiety. So this is a basic thing about the brain. I don't want to bore you with a lot of details, but I want to just show how our brain looks like. So this is the brain, if you can see it on my screen over here on the video. So this is a right side of the brain which is cut like this, and that's what you see on your screen in the diagram as well. And we are seeing the cross section of the brain, wherein we can see various parts of the brain. So what we want to see is that there are different parts. You can see the green part, it is written cerebrum. Then there is a yellow part, there is a purple part, and certain red parts in different shades. So basically, all of these are interconnected and have different roles to play in our brain, and which dictates how we will be, how our thoughts would be, how we will react to situations, what kind of thoughts we have, how we act on our thoughts, how much productivity there would be, how emotionally regulated we might be, what kind of decisions we take, what kind of rational thoughts we have. All of this is dependent on these brain parts. And accordingly, these brain parts do communicate with your body, and then the body reacts differently. Do you know that stress affects your kidneys? You might have everyone heard about cortisol. We'll come to that. So what I wanted to tell you with the diagram as well is that there are certain brain areas responsible for anxiety. One is amygdala. Now this amygdala is a very, very small part in the brain. As you can see, it's a very, very small area. It's a almond shaped, and almost as an almond is small, it's more smaller than that. And this is the main area which causes our flight and fight response, which is responsible for our anxiety and responsible for how we react in situations. And this amygdala tells other parts of our brain, like it will, here is the amygdala, and it will tell the frontal brain. This front brain is responsible for our thoughts, for our cognitive things, the way we make our decisions, about our memory, the way we perceive things, the way we understand situations, the way we react. All of this is, responsible. This area is responsible for that. Also, our focus, our concentration, which also lowers if we have anxiety. Can we go back to the next slide? Okay. Then comes the hippocampus, which is responsible for the autonomic nervous system. Now, what is this? There are various types of nervous systems in our body. So, nervous systems, as you understand, is for our overall body as well. Now, this autonomic nervous system, as you understand, automatic. So these are certain involuntary responses of our body, like our heartbeat, our breathing, our digestion, sweating, blood pressure. All of these are not in our voluntarily control. And this gets affected if we have anxiety. And hypothalamus is basically a brain part which is responsible for that. Then the HPA axis. What is an HPA axis? It stands for hypothalamus, pituitary, and adrenaline. So hypothalamus, as you saw in the diagram first, it's a brain area responsible for our nervous system, autonomic nervous system. Pituitary gland, you all might have heard about pituitary gland, which is a very small gland right behind this area of our brain. Reasons why Indians wear bindi or we put kumkum here is to put pressure in this area so this gets stimulated. Shivji's third eye is nothing but the pituitary gland's pineal gland, and adrenaline glands which are present in top of your kidneys. So this is the entire axis right from your brain to your kidneys, which is your central stress response system. So it is like a command chain that kicks into gear when your brain senses any threat, any stress, or any kind of danger. So what happens is, say you are scared of something, you have a perceived threat, you have an upcoming presentation, and your presentation is in 10 minutes. That's exactly what me and Sanjana were discussing 10 minutes before the session, that okay, 10 minutes we have for the session. Now the hypothalamus in your brain sends a signal to the pituitary gland telling you, do you know there's a threat coming in? You have to perform right now. Then the pituitary gland will release a hormone in the bloodstream so that our body gets ready for it. What does the body need to get ready? It needs more oxygen, it needs more energy, it needs more adrenaline so that it is alert and it stays active throughout that time. And it also tells our adrenaline glands, which are in top of your kidney, to release what we know as cortisol, the main stress hormone, and adrenaline, which helps to increase our heart rate and energy. So this overall, now what does cortisol does? You might have, like, there's so many things about cortisol going on the internet. Now this cortisol is very important. It's not all bad. Cortisol helps to increase our blood sugar level so that our energy increases. It helps us to focus better and gives us alertness. It's like if you don't have anxiety, you would not prepare for your exam, you would not prepare for your presentation, and you'll ultimately not get good marks. You'll fail or something bad would come out to be. So you need that focus. You need cortisol to focus and to be alert, to not sleep during your presentation or your interview or during your exam. It helps to reduce any pain or inflammation as well, so that your body is more into that, you have to be at the best in your game at this point. And it shuts down important systems, that is unnecessary systems in the body that it feels during that particular time, which is mostly digestion and immunity. So that is why if cortisol is going high all the time, it affects your immunity. If your immunity gets affected, you will have all sorts of physical body issues. There might be autoimmune diseases like um, asthma, psoriasis, eczema. All of these things can be there. It can lead to other issues like digestive issues where you're not able to digest your food properly. You can have nausea, you can have constipation, you can have diarrhea as well. You can basically have an upset stomach. Also, if this is chronic and unresolved, it will lead to fatigue, sleep problems, mood swings, sugar cravings, inflammation in your body, poor memory and focus, weakened immunity, like we discussed, and increased risk of depression and anxiety. That is why it is important that we regulate this HPA axis and it doesn't either go overactive or underactive. So it's very, very important that we understand about this. And then ultimately we come to the prefrontal cortex, or the front part of your brain, which is again will tell us on what kind of logic, decision making, regulating emotions, what kind of things we require from them. And the most weird thing what happens with these brain structures is something called as amygdala hijack, or which basically means where the amygdala, because it's the alarm system of your brain, it will fire information to the prefrontal cortex that there is danger. Now the prefrontal cortex is looking around. Ki, what is danger around me? I don't see any danger. I don't know why you are, increasing cortisol in the body. There's so much of adrenaline. I feel so rushed and I have so much of physical body issues. And the amygdala is like, nay, there is a problem. Look around you. There are issues. I know, I can feel it. And the prefrontal cortex is like trying to find everything, trying to like pick up every box and see, is there a problem here? Is there a problem in my relationship? Is there a problem in my with my friends? Is there a problem in my career, my finances? What is going wrong? And the prefrontal cortex, the main brain, is not able to figure it out. And that is what we call amygdala hijack. Why? There is no threat, but amygdala feels there is a threat. And it just keeps telling threat, threat. And there's nothing but your body stays in that heightened state of anxiety, which then would lead to a disorder. Can we go to the next slide? Okay, so this is where we understand that stress, normal anxiety, and problem anxiety. So stress is something we all have, right? It's an external pressure which we all will deal with very normally. And there's normal anxiety, which is again a very natural emotional response that occurs to any kind of danger, which we can cope up with normally, which we will not indulge in for a long time. You have a problem, you solve it, you move away. That's normal anxiety. Problem anxiety is when you are not able to shift your focus, you feel overwhelmed, it seems unmanageable, unexpected. Out of nowhere, you start feeling anxious, you start feeling those palpitations, weirdness in your stomach, or you're not able to sleep at night, you feel breathless. You might also have a panic attack because of that. So, these are three different things, and all of these three different things have various ways you can deal with it.
Pratisha ma'am, so for better understanding, can I ask you certain things and you can tell me whether it's a stress or whether it's a normal anxiety or it's a disorder? So it's easy for the participants also to gauge or maybe analyze themselves.
Right, that would be helpful.
So if I'm panicking, or I would not say panicking, but if I'm nervous and I'm sweating before my presentation, where should I classify this?
It's normal anxiety. It is stress because it is right before your presentation or your interview. And what you can do here is you can just focus on your breathing. Tell yourself that you have prepared and you can deal with it once you're inside. You're just feeling anxious right now, and that is okay. It's a very normal response to your interview or any new thing that you're looking up for.
And what if before my exam, let's say I'm having my UPSC exam and my stomach got upset and I'm vomiting and I'm also feeling breathless as if there's a chest pain that is happening. So my basic question here is, it's an like all of us do get confused between anxiety attacks and panic attacks. So can you tell the main difference between panic attack and anxiety attack? Because we also hear it, people overlapping these terms, ki I'm having a panic attack or whether I'm having an anxiety attack. So how can I identify this, ki whether I'm having a panic attack or an anxiety attack?
Yeah. So panic attack and anxiety attack are not very, very different from each other, right? both have intense feeling of fear and discomfort, right? But they differ in their nature and their onset, wherein a anxiety attack is often triggered by any kind of stress or worry, where it is gradually building up. Like you said, you have your UPSC exams and you have been preparing it for at least a year, and right before the exam you feel or you're having all that discomfort and you're feeling ki, what kind of questions would be there, will I be able to perform well, and how would the interview go, and will I get selected, what if I don't get selected, what will I do next. That's more of an anxiety attack. But a panic attack usually has no such trigger. The onset and the nature, the onset is just very rapid, that you were fine, and all of a sudden you start having this feeling of heaviness in your chest, or you start having a very weird sensation in your body, and then you start, maybe you might get breathless, you might have a headache, and in most cases it goes worst in like 5 minutes. And for 5 to next 15 minutes you might feel that this is the end of my life, there is nothing left, and I'm going to die. I might have a heart attack right now, and this
Yeah,
is what I'm feeling right now. So that is a panic attack. So
true.
this is the basic difference between anxiety and panic attack.
So to summarize, basically, it's panic attack is when there's no cause to my attack. There's no particular trigger that has happened. All of a sudden, I am feeling heaviness in my chest, and it do feels like a heart attack, right? When even I have talked with clients having panic attack, they have expressed themselves, ma'am, I felt like I'm having a heart attack because even I'm feeling very breathless, right? In anxiety attack also there's breathlessness, but it's a build up anxiety attack, as you also said ki, there are triggers. But because here the trigger was my UPSC exam, so there are triggers, but for panic attack there's no trigger, right?
Yes, I
Okay.
agree, absolutely.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll move on to the next slide.
Yes.
Okay, it's my slide. Yeah. Thank you, Pratisha ma'am. Thank you so much. So I'll start with this anxiety loop. So when we talk about anxiety, as ma'am explained it very well, that anxiety is also our overthinking thoughts, and we are constantly stuck with our thoughts. We are not able to escape our thoughts. So that's anxiety loop. So I'll just explain this. So for example, there's a feared situation. Let's still keep talking about the UPSC exam. So feared situation is your UPSC exam. Your anxious thought gets triggered. What if? What will happen? What kind of questions will be there? I really have to perform because I'm already thinking of the consequences. What if I don't score well? Then what is my backup option, right? So we always think of the worst when we are thinking about our anxiety. When we talk about our anxiety or overthinking, it's always we think the worst to protect ourselves and we are prepared, right? Then due to the trigger, there's a physical response that is happening, right? So what will be your physical response? Your nervous system is preparing, as ma'am said, for flight, fight, or freeze response. Okay, that is how your nervous system will react. So physical symptoms like palpitation, there's a lot of sweating, your hands are sweaty, or there's dizziness that is happening, there is dry throat. Okay, then there is also you're feeling breathless. So these all are the physical symptoms when you are stuck with your anxiety, okay, and anxious thoughts. Then your thoughts also affect your behavior, right? So when you talk about like your feelings affecting your physical response, and your physical response is also leading to multiple thoughts. So you are feeling very awful, you feel very hopeless, you feel scared, you feel very nervous. I'm just very nervous about my UPSC exam. And sometimes when as ma'am also said, then when it gets out of control, when you're not able to manage your thoughts, when you're not able to manage your anxiety, it leads to behavioral response, which is, severe anxiety, where you are vomiting, where you are there's a stomach or digestive issues that is happening. So it's severe anxiety that is reflecting, and your body is telling that it's in a very dangerous state. All right. Moving on to this. When I say thoughts, your thoughts are, I can't do this. I'm very scared. I am scared of failing, right? These are your thoughts. So let's do this one thing. Can you tell me in your chat box what are your thoughts which make you nervous, or which before any situation you are just thinking about this? Can you label your thoughts? Can you identify your thoughts? Because identification is very important. Even when it comes to dealing with anything, even psychological issues, you should be aware and able to identify what is happening within you, right? Then comes the awareness part. So can someone tell me in the chat box, or just unmute and tell me what are the anxious thoughts? Yes, Surya.
Uh, yeah. So first of all, like it was very good information about all those things, and so the thoughts, like for me, whenever the thoughts will be different. For example, if I'm going to face any situation, like I'm going to have any discussion, or I'm going to meet any new person, or if I'm taking any step which I haven't taken before, like it's regarding my future or something. Like a lot of thoughts will be like numerous thoughts will be roaming around in my mind, but that will not make like I can't say it as a overthinking, but a question inside myself, like about the which means a future scenario or like future situation, and like it gets me confused, like a lot of questions. So, but I can't say what is the thought is, because sometimes it may be based on the situation. So, but for me, like the overthinking happens to me when I'm going to face any situation at the time, and I've tried to control it, but someone mentioned that don't make it as a habit of overthinking. And like when I try to control my overthinking, what happens is like sometimes it get exploded. Like when we try compress something itself, like if it is overcomposed, it will explode like that. And so that what happened, I've not tried to compose it, like I never try to control that. I just like lift it out. Okay, it's part of like life or something. Okay, I just want to think so that I can able to get some answer or questions. So what we can do, if we try to compress, like if we try to control overthinking, it might get, because I try to do it, and what happened, that went into a scenario of like it got exploded, like it went too much. So
Yeah, that's true, Surya. When you try to control your thoughts, it generally gets out of your hand, right? You panic more. That's why I'm overthinking. I don't want to overthink, and you overthink more. So that's the overthinking loop. And sometimes we are so stuck in our thoughts that it gets difficult to catch hold of one thought, right? Because overthinking is multiple thoughts. It's not just one thought that you are thinking of. One thought leads to the another thought leads to the another. So that's why it's called overthinking thought, right? There are multiple thoughts, and it gets very difficult to just catch that one thought that you are thinking. So that is where it comes to a picture. When you are feeling anxious, there are multiple thoughts that are going in your mind, right? So try to identify and stop yourself. That let me take a pause. Let me look at my thoughts. Okay, so maybe you can just sit in front and think of what I'm thinking right now. Let me just pause myself and reflect my brain in front of me and try to catch hold that one thought. There are multiple thought clouds, right? So just identify that one thought cloud. So I'm feeling scared because I feel like I can't do this. Then try to remind yourself that no, you can do this. You have done this earlier as well. Okay, so you can do this. You are just overthinking. Okay, then your thought leads to feelings. Feelings are when you're feeling scared. Okay, when you're feeling nervous about your exam, so that's your feeling. So you should able to name your feeling. Okay, these are my thoughts, these are my feeling, what I'm feeling. And you can also try to identify the physical symptoms that are bodily changes. For example, I'll give you a very beautiful example. When someone gets angry, or let's imagine you are only getting angry, so what are the bodily changes that happen? Someone clutches their hands, right? And then they also try to clutch their jaws. There's a tightness in their jaws, right? There is heart pounding which is happening, and someone also shivers when they are angry. Their body's shaking, right? So there are very different bodily symptoms for everyone. It's unique. So try to reflect how you're feeling, how your body is feeling, and where your body is feeling. For example, if you're feeling nervous or you're feeling anxious, there's something that also goes inside your chest. You feel, something is heavy. Hannah, do you feel like that? That, there's something heavy that I'm holding, my shoulders ache. If I'm stressing a lot, there's a stress headache that happens. That, there's a lot of work that I have to do. And because of it, sometimes my headache gets triggered. So that is your bodily physical symptoms. Okay. Then when your thoughts are impacting your feelings, and your feelings also sometimes affect your thoughts, then they come, your body shows physical symptoms, your thoughts are affected by your feelings are affected by your thoughts, and they both reflect together in your physical symptoms. Your body is responding physically to certain things, and then you behave. What is your behavior? How you are acting towards whatever you're feeling or whatever your thoughts are. For example, what are the three responses? Fight, flight, or freeze. So sometimes some people, if they see a lion, okay, let's imagine. So some people will run away. Even I'll run away, trust me. I'll just try to save myself. And this is how I'll respond to the danger. But some people will say, no, I know how to handle the lion. I'll fight. Okay, so that's the fight response, facing the danger. Okay, then there's the freeze response, that some people will freeze. I don't know what to do. I see a lion and I'm just freeze because my brain shuts down. So that is the freeze response. Okay. So this is the behavior that you will do. So either you will avoid the situation, either you will try to save, run away, or you will try to face away. Okay. Then you will try to reassure yourself, like by saying, no, Sanjana, you can do it. Okay. It's just an exam. You have done it prior also. You will do it this time. So this is how you give a talk. When your brain gives your negative thoughts that you can't do this, you are a failure, you have failed, try to remember what you have already done and achieved. Give your brain that thoughts that no, I have already achieved. I have done this before, so I can do this. Instead of, I can't, replace it by I can. Okay, believe in yourself. So these are the certain things that you can tell your brain when your brain says, no, Sanjana, you can't do this. Okay, so this is here a very beautiful slide that you can rewire your brain. So when I said you can't, change it to you can. This is how you rewire your brain. When you are giving yourself a negative talk, and no, you look so ugly, so I will feel ugly, right? Whatever you are feeding your brain, that will reflect. If I'm feeling, I want to feel confident that, I'm going to ace this presentation, I'm going to ace this webinar. So that is the talk I'm giving before the webinar. So Pratisha ma'am tells me, I tell Pratisha ma'am tells herself that I'm going to ace it. I tell my brain that I'm going to ace it. I am confident. Okay, I can handle this because I've done this before, right? So this is how you rewire. You can always seek help, right? We are getting aware, we are knowing that mental health issues exist and they are true. They are not just set facts or just anything. They really exist. So seek help, go to a psychiatrist, go to a psychologist, because when you are sick, you easily go to a doctor. Then why not to take help of a mental health professional? Because of a lot of myths and taboos attached, I completely understand. But try to fight and first seek a professional help whenever you are feel stuck. Okay, then practice mindfulness. When I said that when we are overthinking, when we are ruminating in future, or we are thinking about our past, we are not mindfully present in the present. Okay, for example, I am eating my food, I am on vacation, I'm eating, I'm enjoying my food, but suddenly I remember, there's this one client that was very serious, and I'm started thinking, oh my god, after the vacation I have to take all the clients, all the sessions, I have to do this work. I'm not enjoying my present moment, right? I'm thinking about the future, I'm not living in the present. That will spoil my present. Will it or will it not? It will, right? So that is mindfulness for you, when you try to ground yourself and bring yourself to present. Okay, I know that will happen, but after vacation I'm going to think about what the work I have to do. Right now I am going to enjoy my favorite meal, I am going to enjoy my favorite juice, right? And the beautiful scenario that is going to happen, or the beautiful environment, right? So that is mindfulness practice. And as ma'am explained, that how prefrontal cortex and amygdala is responsible for your anxiety. So you can try to restructure it, try breathing techniques. Okay, when your heart is racing, it is pounding like anything, try to breathe and try to bring yourself and tell yourself, it's okay, I am safe and I'm going to handle it because I've done this before. Okay, so this is, and obviously the first thing is, yes, all is well, the favorite movie. Do you remember Amir Khan's movie All Is Well? So we tell ourselves, all is well, all is well. Okay, it's not all as well, it's all as well. Okay, so yes, and when your anxiety, as ma'am told, that there are three categories: there is stress, there is nervousness or normal anxiety, and there is anxiety disorders. Now since you are aware, you know that where you are falling, in which category you are falling, so seek help accordingly. When it's not in your control, when you are trying your best, you are still not able to, seek professional help, because there are medications that are going to help you. So go to a psychiatrist, take supplements, and again, they are good for you, because just say, as we manage our sugar levels and BP, we take medication constantly, right? So this is why for severe anxieties, medications are important, because the chemicals in our brain are down, and to stabilize it, we take supplements. And moving on to the next slide, the last thing. So as you can see, I have also represented in the diagram that how you have to try to bring yourself in the present and not to revolve in past and future. Okay, try to bring yourself, try to ground yourself, practice breathing technique, switch off your phone before bed. So now, since we are so addicted to technology and scrolling, we scroll over and sleep. So just make a practice, make a habit this is a screen free zone. In dinner tables, no phone allowed. Okay, not to scroll screen before going to bed, like maybe 1 hour prior. And then if I'm feeling very anxious or nervous, so as we were talking, Pratisha ma'am and I were talking over a phone call before the session. So that is how you can talk to someone who is going to support you, or take a professional. Ma'am, can you add certain things here? Pratisha ma'am, you are on mute.
Yeah, so that was really great, Sanjana. And to the last thing that I want you all to like take a note of is, when does this anxiety becomes a disorder? So there are certain key things that you can keep in mind to understand and reflect yourself. Ki, do I need to go to a professional, or can I just manage with maybe journaling, walking, talking to my friends, sharing about my issues, and doing certain things that make me feel better, or maybe like going on a vacation or something like that. So one is the intensity, that if the anxiety is excess, way out of proportion to the actual situation or the actual threat, like feeling panic level fear before making a routine call. that I need to call a friend for something and I'm feeling so anxious. Oh my God, what will I say? What will I talk? Or if I need to order, or if I need to cancel something, or if in a restaurant I need to tell that I don't like the food, there's too much salt in it. Even like a small thing, you feel like intense anxiety in that situation. The duration, if the duration is very long of your anxiety in a particular day, you should be not feeling anxious for more than like 30 minutes. I feel that if you're feeling anxious for most of the day, it's a problem. If duration of your anxiety in months is more than 2 months, which happens in most cases of anxiety issues, then that you need to seek help. When it interferes with your day-to-day life, like it disrupts your ability to work, to sleep, to eat, to socialize and function normally, like uh, stopping to go to college because fear of judgment, feeling body shamed, fear of, what kind of clothes you're wearing, the color of your skin, and all of those things. And it is interfering with your day-to-day life now. And avoiding situations, that you start avoiding people, places, situations, so that you don't feel anxious. You're trying to avoid feeling anxiety. Like people avoid closed spaces like elevators because they might have a fear of being trapped. And distress persistently and hard to control that level of distress, that even when in danger, like even when the danger is gone, your brain and body stays on high alert. That is, I logically know that I'm safe, but I just can't stop the panic. I know everything, I know all of these things, but I'm not able to feel better at all. And I've done various multiple things. So these are like the key differences between, like, to understand that when anxiety becomes a disorder. And I hope that difference between anxiety and overthinking is also clear. um, that is, anxiety, just to recap, anxiety is an emotional and physiological reaction to stress, while overthinking is a cognitive loop of repetitive unproductive thoughts. In anxiety, there would be excessive fear, worry, or dread. In overthinking, there would be doubt, indecision, and mental fatigue. Body responses are also very different. In anxiety, usually there are various body responses. Overthinking doesn't cause any such body responses. Your body's like, I'm good. You think, I don't care about what you're thinking. And root cause in anxiety can be a perceived threat. And usually in overthinking, there is a real situation. That's why you're overthinking about it. And this is what and how overthinking and anxiety differs. And if you guys have any questions, you can ask us. Let's take up questions, and I hope you all have some questions. You
Dear
can ask.
participants, yes, I request you to use this query session and engage with our expert. You can raise the hands so that we can take it up in an organized manner.
And if you're not comfortable in front of everyone, it's completely fine. You can always try to contact us and reach out to us personally or personally message us. Yes, Surya. Shalini, maybe you can go ahead. I guess we lost Surya's connection. So, yes, Shalini, please unmute yourself and
Yeah, very good morning. I'm very happy to have this session today. The session was very useful. You have conducted in a very good, nice manner. The thing is, I want to know, see, everyone will go for anxiety. Everyone may come to the situation of anxiety. Even we go for so many breathing practices or so many lifestyle practices. Each and every day we will feel anxious. In any one matter, we will feel anxious. So the thing, what I want to know is to get rid of anxiety immediately. If I feel anxious today in any matter, to get out of that, I want to have a best practice to do immediately so that I can come out of that and I can go for the other work easily. That is what we require exactly. What shall be the exact best practice so that I can come out of that anxiety and I can look after some other regular routine.
Okay,
Any
Shalini,
help?
it's a great question. So in this particular situation, like you said, that feeling anxious, if you're feeling anxious all throughout the day for each and everything, that means it is not normal anxiety. It might be some deep underlying issue. Certain times, the way we have been culturally as well, the way we saw our parents, a lot of times our mothers have a habit to be very stressed about everything. Because she loves us, she would, we see them being stressed about each and every person in the family, what they have eaten, what they are dressing up, what have they slept, are they well, and everything. So we also learn similarly as well. So that can be something that we pick up from our parents. Now, what to do in such a situation and how to move ahead with it? One, identify, recognize, become aware that you are feeling anxious. Tell yourself, I am feeling anxious, but I'm safe and I've done this before. There's nothing to be anxious about. If this is like the first thing to become more aware that I am feeling anxious. When we give it a name, it becomes easy. Like to a newborn child, we give a name so that we are able to identify the person. Same way, we need to give a name to this anxiety, that this is anxiety or this is overthinking and I'm feeling overwhelmed right now. Second that you can do is just take a minute, sit, and try to focus on your breathing. A lot of times we make a mistake of deep breathing. How we deep breathe is very important. So there are two types of deep breathing. One where you fill up your lungs with air. Like when you take a deep breath, you fill your lungs, you feel your lungs getting bigger with air, filling with air. And then you breathe out. You take out all the air from your lungs. Don't do that. That will cause you more anxiety. Instead, try to do a deep belly breathing. That is, when you breathe in, keep one hand on your stomach. When you breathe in, feel the air filling in your stomach. So basically, you're not filling air in your stomach, but by that, our lungs, there's a diaphragm between the below the lungs. So the diaphragm gets extended downwards, which helps the air to fill up nicely in the lungs. If and likewise, when you breathe out, feel and pull in your stomach properly so that all the air gets out as well. This, by doing this repeatedly, like 5 to 10 times, will really help you to bring down your anxiety. Another way is to breathe in, hold your breath, breathe out, hold your breath, which is also called as box breathing. So, this is breathing, which you can do. Another is practicing mindfulness. The easiest way to practice mindfulness, what is it? Is to use 5 of your senses. That is your vision, your smell, your taste, your hearing, and your touch. So, use any two of them, if not all. So what I do is I usually keep some chocolate candy in my purse, and if I'm feeling anxious, I'll just pop it up and I'll try to feel the sweetness, the texture of that, or maybe I'll drink water. That would help. Or you can I also like perfumes a lot, so I keep a perfume with me. I'll just put it and I'll spray it. I'll smell it, so that makes me feel better. It can be different things. Some people carry soft cloth or any stress ball to help them bring just back to the present. So mindfulness is nothing but trying to bring ourselves back in the present, because overthinking or anxiety keeps you either in the past or in the future. So we need to come back in the present. I hope that helps.
Thank you.
And
Thank you for
ma'am,
the
can I also add certain few points? As Shalini mentioned, Shalini, I completely agree that, sometimes feeling anxious or just overthinking feels very normal. Since ma'am also mentioned it, because it's happening around you. You're looking at your parents and you have already learned it. And we are not aware that this is called anxiety. So I completely agree that it feels very normal to feel anxious or, just to be prepared. But that's not normal. That we need to identify it, that it's not normal. And for instant relief, you can splash some cold water, okay, or hold ice cube. Why? Because this will how you are going to bring yourself in the present instantly. That is the instant thing. But this is just a temporary relief. This is not going to help you in the long run. So for long run help, you need to seek a professional. Yeah.
fine. Fine. Thank you.
Thank you, Shalini. Nirmal, you can go ahead and then maybe followed by Surya.
Am I audible?
Yes, Surya, you are audible.
Okay. So my question is, it's not just a question I want to ask, is it right or wrong? So the thing is, when I get not anxious, like I had a lot of thoughts in my mind, like a lot of things which is going on in my mind. Uh, sometimes it leads to a bad kind of situation, and also at one point it ends in a good way. So why I'm saying it ends in a good way in the sense, like for example, I felt that when I'm thinking a lot in my head, like a lot of questions and a lot of things which is going on in my mind, like about my future things or like whatever the plan which I haven't, which I want to do, like more often I just thinking that it was a bad for me, but at some point it is not accepting me, like which I'm not taking in a bad way or like in a good way to continue to do that. So I feel like okay, at some point when I'm thinking about something which is about my future or like which about my current thing, it gives me a good outcome. So as Ms. Pratiksha mentioned that she have some chocolates or some have perfumes to get rid of the situation. So what I'll do if I get a lot of thoughts in my mind, I have a chewing gum in my hand, like more often time. So when I got those thoughts, like I'll put it at my mouth and I'll start chewing. So it gives me a little phase of slow in thinking. So when I thinking a lot, when I have the chewing gum in my mouth, when I chew for some time or like until the taste goes, uh, I start thinking a little slow, and that gives me a clear way of thought that about what I'm going to do. Like that will less phase of my thinking. It will before that I will be have a little fast in phase of thinking, but after having a chewing gum in my mouth, the phase goes low. So I'm getting little focused. So I just try to use this in my real life, and I want to have a discussion with some senior people in my office. So I don't know that I'm going to face a situation, so I was having a chewing gum, so I went into the situation. But when I try to have the chewing gum in my mouth, and when I had the conversation with all the senior people, so at the time I felt I was giving an answer which is was bold enough, and which was quite good enough. So after that, what I started thinking is that overthinking is something is good for human being. And also if you know how to take control of the thoughts, and if you just know how to handle situation to try to use it to good for yourself, like I feel it's good. And also I want to know, uh, I'm just asking a common perspective that do you think that overthinking is differentiated in a gender based, like men and women? So uh, do you think that maybe it's maybe some gender, like I'm not pointing out in the gender here, maybe maybe a woman or a man can be better handled in overthinking and anxiety? Do you think a woman is more able to handle, or else it's not just based on gender things, and it's just only that how an individual human being is capable enough to handle all those things? Do you think it have any gender based or something, or it is something individual, it's based on the people who can able to handle, or else it's like men only can more handle, or like women can more handle, or it's only individual person based? We need to know how to handle, or like uh,
Yeah, that's a really great question, Surya. So there's no gender bias in anxiety or the way we manage all of these things, but yes, there are different sort of thoughts and perceived threats that different genders have. Typically, if we talk about two genders, a man and a woman, so a man would have more thoughts regarding his career, finances, how he will take care of the family, mostly financially, while a woman would worry about taking care of the family emotionally, and whether or not everybody else's basic regular needs are fulfilled or not. So this can be a very striking two differences between both genders, but both genders or all genders do have uh, anxiety, just maybe the kind of thoughts we have might differ, but the entire process of feeling anxious, emotionally regulating, can also be different. For example, women are very open when they need to discuss about their problems. Ego play or ego role is very less when it comes to women discussing their issues and their problems, while men have been subjected societally to be very strong and not to share their issues. So I've seen a lot of men not having enough friends, who, like, they are not able to share their issues even sometimes with their own brother, with their father, and with their other friends, while women are very comfortable in sharing their problems. It's the way they also bond with friends by sharing their issues. So yes, this is a very big difference which comes from the society pressure. Mostly millennials, and boomers and people who are above 25 years of age have this issue. Newer generations, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, is not having that. They are more gender equal, and they are dealing with problems in a much more better manner than we used to, or our elders have been doing that. um, Also, to think of anxiety like anxiety or overthinking is very, very important. I mean, it's not that anxiety is not needed, it's very much needed. Reason again that we are here today is because of anxiety. You all wanted to learn something, I wanted to share something, maybe because of some sort of anxiety or thoughts that I had previously or you had previously. And the reason that we are looking at 2020 here is because of anxiety. But when it is affecting your day to day life, when you're not able to sleep, eat properly, and like you said about eating, I also shared it on the chat that eating basically tricks your brain to feel safe. You will eat when only when you are safe, right? And safety means very different to our brain, being that we have come from being gatherers, and all of from right from our evolution, we have only eaten when we are safe. So you might have faced that if you have an exam or if you have something important coming up, if there's some bad news in the family, most of us stop eating. Say for example, if someone died in your family, you will not feel like eating anything. If you have broken up, you'll not feel like eating anything. If you got diagnosed with something, you'll not feel like eating anything, because your body is in stress, and cortisol has cut that need of hunger, has cut down digestion as well. Our body will feel safe, and if you start eating something, brain feels that I'm safe now. If we don't learn to regulate these emotions, these thoughts, and we just keep eating, it might lead to emotional eating, which can lead to eating disorders. And there's a lot of various chains that keep going on. And that is why it's important that we identify the issues and work on it the way it needs to be. Because I recently had one of my friends who told me a year ago that, I also was depressed, I was anxious, but I didn't take any help, I didn't go to a therapist, I didn't take any medications, I got better naturally. And 2 months ago, she got diagnosed with diabetes. She is 29 years old, and at 29 years old she got diagnosed with diabetes. And if you know about HbA1c, it's a marker of diabetes, and normally it is around 4 or 5 in people who are non-diabetic. Her came out to be 11. So if it is even 5.5, you are in pre-diabetic, 6 is diabetic. So hers came out to be 11, and that happened because her immunity went down and her body was in constant stress. But because it wasn't dealt with, it led to other physical issues, and that's exactly what is happening in our society, where we see a lot of health issues coming up in younger generation because there's a lot of stress, there's anxiety, there's overthinking, which is not regulated. So I hope this helps.
Thank you so much, Pratisha ma'am, for answering that beautifully. We'll take just last two questions from Ria and then Divya, and then maybe we can close up the session. Soon, you will be sent with Google form, and after filling the Google form, we'll send you the anxiety handbooks that we have prepared for you. And it has multiple tools that it can help you how to deal with your anxiety and overthinking thoughts, labeling all the techniques that we discussed. It's an handbook, so you will receive once you fill the feedback form. And we can take last two questions. Ria, please go ahead, and then followed by Divya.
Yeah, hi. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. So, yeah, currently I am working as a school counselor, and I think it's a mixed emotion at the same time that makes you happy, and at the other side, it makes you anxious also. Because the school I am working in is basically a underprivileged school where the students lack basic things, knowledge, education also. So I think coming up with various things that makes sense to them, or that make them comfortable with the surrounding, is a challenge there. And I think at the same time maintaining your personal as well as professional things that do not align with your um, personal self. And I think sometimes making your seniors understand a certain thing about a behavior, that they label students like, if the behavior is not good, teacher, he is autistic, or the child is dyslexic. I think it is very challenging at times to explain that a certain behavior, that the naughtiness is not dyslexic, or which doesn't make them autistic. So I think dealing that and also explaining it to your seniors or the principal, because see, school doesn't work only, at they doesn't see you as a counselor, but at the same time you need to take 10 other responsibilities also. So I think I am facing it as a challenge, and then I think I doubt myself whether I am doing it in a right way, or whether the job I am in, or the role I have assigned in, is it like, am I properly doing it, or the students are understanding better, or am I really capable of this? I think this is a challenge or a question to myself. So I think, how do I deal with it sometimes? Keeping my personal things aside is a challenge.
Okay. Ma'am, can I take this question and maybe then you can add on to it? Ria, I can totally relate to you because I have also worked as a school counselor before. So I completely agree that school counselor and other teachers, they don't have only one single role. You are seen as a concert and designer, or maybe a creative head, that you have to display everything. So it's multiple roles. And yes, it gets very difficult to make people understand what exactly a disorder is, what exactly autism is, and how to talk or deal with a child, because there are already certain boundaries or certain set of rules that have been followed since early, that this is how students should be dealt with. They should be shouted, they should be yelled at. They are labeled in a very different manner. So yes, it gets very difficult to explain, but you can always and multiple times take workshops and awareness that this is how, this is what autism is, this is what ADHD is, this is how you have to deal with kids with autism, ADHD. And these workshops can always be, certified or, used as a career development thing, which all the teachers are required to. So awareness is a very important thing when you are functioning in an educational system. Bursting all the myths, talk about it. Talking about it helps a lot. Then connecting with students directly, telling teachers how they can deal with such kids, how they can deal with behavioral issues. I know working in such field, your patience is judged and tracked upon by your parents, by the teachers. So there are multiple people, multiple parties that you're dealing with, not only parents but also schools, students, teachers, everyone. Okay. And then coming to this part, that I know that as a fresher also you doubt yourself a lot. And even now also, not, I'm not saying I'm not a fresher, but I still consider myself as a fresher. And I also talk with ma'am regarding, doubting myself when my client doesn't show up for my third or fourth session. So I doubt myself that, where did I go wrong? But it's not always about you, that you were wrong, or, that's when Pratisha ma'am tells me that, Sanjana, sometimes there are things that are not under your control. There are certain other circumstances which they do make you doubt yourself, but it's not you. It's not always you who's at fault or you made certain mistake. So that time, Ria, you need to remind yourself that you did your best. There are certain things that are out of your control. You tried your best to explain, you tried your best to understand that parent or a teacher, but now there are certain things that are not under your control. And don't doubt yourself. Yes, there's always a room for, making improvement. Yeah, but tell yourself that you did your best and it's not you. You are still giving your best, and there are certain things that are not under your control, and it was not your mistake. Pratisha ma'am, can you add certain things here?
Well, I think you covered most of it. I would like to add that, feeling like an imposter is very common when it comes to being in a field where you are directly dealing with people, uh, in any profession, and mostly in our profession, being in the healthcare sector. It's very, very common to feel like an imposter where you have a persistent self doubt. You might doubt yourself about, am I like enough? Am I a fraud? Am I, tricking other people? Those kind of thoughts could be there. Fear of being exposed, that I don't know anything. Low self-esteem can be there. The need of perfectionism can be there as well. But because you're working in with school children and with teachers, it's really unfortunate that most people do not understand about basics of mental health. I mean, and when we expect it from teachers, I mean, it's far beyond. Even medical doctors themselves don't understand about mental health issues. And I deal with a lot of such doctors at really good posts to to make them understand about what a psychiatrist does and what is counseling, what is therapy. There is one of my clients who is I mean, she's a doctor, and her child is having certain issues, and the child has certain learning issues and speech issues and all. So this woman says to me that, you just counsel this person, counsel my son, and please, like, let tell him to study and tell him to do this and that. And I'm like, it doesn't work like that. Your child would first need assessments, learning assessment, OT assessment, and would maybe need OT, or that is occupational therapy. And just counseling or talking doesn't happen, and I don't have a magic thing in my talk that I can change the way you think and feel, and it doesn't work like that. So it just feels really helpless. But keep going. You are really doing good, and all we can do is keep trying different things that might work in that kind of setup where you're working. I hope that helps.
Thank you, Pratisha ma'am. And since we are out of time, can we take a quick question from Divya, since she had raised her hand, or
Hello.
yeah,
Yeah,
Divya.
ma'am. Thanks for your beautiful session. And I just want to know about the overthinking. Whenever I try to sleep, I really can't sleep. It may take an half an hour, or say maybe sometimes an 1 hour. I already have a long day and chose to do many works for me, and I already so many tired, but I cannot sleep even a hour. I don't know how to control this.
Okay, if this is Divya, if this is happening for more than like 2 months, I would definitely advise you to, talk to a psychiatrist for this particular thing. If your sleep is impaired, if you're not able to sleep properly, and basically, when I would want to assess sleep, I would ask you how long it takes you to sleep. Is your sleep uninterrupted? How is the quality of your sleep? Do you get deep sleep? Do you feel that you keep thinking all throughout the night? You just had your eyes shut and your brain was just not stopping? And if you sleep, do you get vivid dreams and you feel unrested, unmotivated, low on energy when you wake up in the morning? So these are few things to like ask yourself if this is going well. What you can do is you can practice relaxing techniques before you sleep. That is keeping a good sleep hygiene, maintaining sleep hygiene. That is that to have a cool dark room. Plus you use your bed and for anything other than sleeping, not to carry your phone, at least keeping your phone 1 hour before you sleep away from you. Not to use any screens before you sleep. Try to inculcate maybe some journaling, how your day um, was there anything that made you feel upset, what is your agenda for tomorrow. You can just make a note of that and write. You can take up like reading, listening to some good music. What I do is I usually listen to sleep meditation videos, which are available on YouTube. You can just put them on and follow it and try to sleep. You can also put on some sleep sounds. These things can really help. Box breathing, which we discussed earlier, also helps to bring it down. And try to identify what kind of thoughts are these random thoughts. And the workbook that we are going to share, please use it. I hope it really helps you to identify your anxiety, identifying your overthinking, and working through it. And you can get back to us if you need more help.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for answering all the questions patiently. And thank you, Sanjana. And we really thank you for the insightful and enlightening session. So we got to know about the positive things about cortisol, because so far we have heard cortisol only as a stress hormone, and we came to know about the positive things. And the explanation of amygdala hijack was very much useful. And labeling the emotions or labeling the feelings is very much important. We learned that today. And how when to seek a professional help is also very much useful for the participants. And the coping strategies like overcoming the overthinking or the anxiety by being mindful, and the how to identify whether that is a normal anxiety or that is disorder. So difference between the anxiety and overthinking, all these information was really useful to the participants, ma'am. Thank you. So before we conclude, it's time to express our gratitude. Now I invite Ms. Mahadevi from Team Makal to deliver vote of thanks.
Good morning, everyone. This is Mahadevi, and I'm doing my post graduation at PSCR Krishnammal College for Women, Coimbatore. On behalf of Makal, I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you for making today's webinar on understanding anxiety a resounding success. To our knowledgeable speakers, thank you for sharing your valuable insight and expertise, helping us better comprehend this critical mental health topic. Your contributions will undoubtedly empower us to break stigmas surrounding mental health and foster a culture of compassion and understanding. To our engaged participants, your active participation and thoughtful questions have enriched this discussion. We are grateful for your willingness to learn, grow, and prioritize mental well being. Your commitment to mental health awareness is truly commendable. Special thanks to our moderators and organizers for these tireless efforts in making this webinar possible. Your dedication to promoting mental health education and support is invaluable. As we continue to navigate the complexities of mental health, let's remember that every conversation, every shared experience, and every act of kindness can make a difference. Let's try to create a society where mental health is prioritized and everyone feels supported. Thank you once again, and we look forward to future collaborations that promote mental wellness and awareness.
Thank you so much, Makal, for giving us the opportunity, and Nirmal, especially for reaching out to me and ma'am. So thank you, and thank you, Mani, for coordinating so well and making this happen. Thank you, Pratisha, ma'am, for this, and looking forward for more such sessions. Thank you so much for providing us the platform.
Yes, thank you, Sanjana. And we have posted a feedback form in the chat box. And for further queries, you can reach us through the email address or the contact numbers given in the chat box and in the poster. Thank you all for joining with us today. Hope you all had wonderful takeaways. Let us connect in our next webinar. Till then, happy learning. And this is Team Makal signing off. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to all the organizers to make this happen. And I'm really glad that this was, we were part of your first mental health session. And I really hope this was helpful. And we do look forward to collaborating further with you guys. And if you need any help, any one of you, please reach out to us and we will try to do our best. Thank you so much.